Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something deep-seated, I think. This whole human tendency to compare ourselves to others.
Yeah, it's huge, and it affects so much.
It really does. We've got some fascinating sources here looking at how this comparison thing shapes our drive for recognition, our sense of what's fair or unfair, even our actual justice systems.
It's a vital topic because, we all do it. The goal today, our mission, is to unpack what's going on psychologically. We'll look at something called relative deprivation
Right.
and then explore, okay, what's the fix? How can fairness, like real fundamental fairness, be a solution, both for us personally and maybe even systemically?
And the sources kick off by saying this isn't something we choose. It starts, well, really early, at a tender age, as they put it.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it. Those moments when maybe as a kid, your feeling just gets dismissed. Someone tells you, don't cry. Look, that little boy isn't crying. Right there. That's comparison being used to invalidate what you're feeling.
Or the gender stuff. You're a man, men don't cry.
Yeah.
You learn pretty quick that fitting some mold is more important than just being you.
It's even in how we're motivated sometimes. Like, eat your spinach so you can be strong like Popeye.
Yeah.
Your reason for eating isn't health. It's being strong compared to a cartoon. It's external.
And then the big one, school. Your sister got A's, why did you get a C?
Oof. Right. So from the get-go, you're swimming in this soup of inequality, injustice, comparison, long before you have any clue how to handle it.
So what happens then? We grow up.
Well, the sources argue this early stuff creates adults with a real thirst for power, a need for recognition.
Okay.
And this can lead people into what the sources call compensatory deviant behaviors. Basically, doing things, maybe not great things, just to get noticed.
Compensatory deviant behaviors. That sounds heavy, but I think I know what you mean. Like the office politics thing. Undermining someone else to make yourself look good.
Exactly that. Or maybe taking huge risks, personally or professionally, not because it's smart, but because winning that way is the only thing that makes you feel valid. They become these grown-up children, the sources use that phrase, super fragile inside. So they build these high pedestals.
High pedestals.
Yeah, and from up there, they're busy tearing down anyone who might challenge them. But at the same time, they're totally submissive to anyone they think is even higher up.
Wow, that sounds exhausting.
It is, and the sources are clear. It doesn't lead to happiness, not even close. Just this constant feeling of being incomplete, always needing more validation, more and more.
It's a void.
A void that can't be filled because the real foundation, self-acceptance, it just isn't there.
And you see this at work all the time, right? The hierarchy trap.
Oh, perfectly. The employee resents the boss's pay or freedom, but then they get promoted.
And suddenly they resent their boss, the director.
Exactly. The target just shifts upward. There's no peace in it.
Never satisfied.
Never. And this constant chase, this moving target, it leads to this deep inner emptiness, which can manifest as, serious stuff like depression, anxiety.
Or those risky behaviors you mentioned.
Yeah, trying to get that hit of recognition externally.
Which ties into what Isabel Correa says, right?
Yeah.
That comparison is basically a setup to fail.
It really resonates because the benchmark is always moving. You reach it, you just find a new one, someone else who seems to have more. You can't actually win the comparison game.
And trying to.
Yeah.
It becomes emotionally violently intense, is the phrase used.
Yeah. You end up pouring all this energy into shouting injustice about these, subjective social comparisons.
Wasting energy.
Totally. Energy that could be used fighting actual objective injustice in the world.
So let's talk about the engine behind this. Relative deprivation, RD. It's not just about being poor, is it?
No, that's key. It's a cognitive judgment. It's about comparing your reality, your stuff, your status to the people around you, your community, your workplace.
People you see every day.
Right. It's local, it's social. That's what fuels the feeling, not some absolute measure of lack.
And it's usually negative, right? You
Yeah.
always think the other person's got it better.
Almost always punitive, yeah. You use their perceived success to beat yourself up. You assume their life is better, smoother, more successful, even if you don't know the whole story.
And the emotional fallout is?
Awful. Anger, resentment, which then feed anxiety, maybe depression. It's like you're constantly poking your own bruise by making that negative comparison.
Okay, so it's damaging. We get it.
Yeah.
How do you get out? What's the alternative?
Well, the sources offer something pretty straightforward, actually. Honesty and observation.
Honesty.
Yeah, acknowledge the comparison is happening. People will always have different things. That's life in groups. But instead of stewing in resentment, pause. Observe the person you're comparing yourself to. Try to genuinely learn from them.
To shift from resentment to learning.
Exactly. Reframe it. Turn that feeling of injustice into emotional intelligence. Figure out how they achieved something. Observe their habits. Take action based on that. The sources even suggest you might end up going further than the person you initially resented because you use that energy constructively. You weaponize the comparison for your own growth.
That's a powerful shift, turning it positive.
Yeah.
But then the sources throw in a curveball. What happens when you are the one who succeeds, the one who gets recognized?
Yes. The paradox. You often feel guilt.
Guilt? Why on earth would you feel guilty for success?
It sounds backwards, right? But the guilt doesn't come from the achievement itself. It comes from the social pressure.
From the people who are still stuck in that thirst for power.
Exactly. The ones doing the comparing. It happens everywhere. Companies, schools, volunteer groups.
So the person who gets the pat on the back becomes a target.
A target of rejection, gossip, yeah. And if that person isn't secure in themselves, if they lack self-knowledge...
They don't see it as fair recognition.
No, they internalize the resentment as guilt. And then, crazily enough, they try harder to get approval from the very people rejecting them. They dim their own light to fit in. The birthday party example in the sources nails this. Imagine, you go to a party, 50 people there. 49 say you look amazing. One person, maybe out of their own insecurity, says you look ugly.
Oh, no.
What do you focus on? For days, maybe weeks. That one comment. You obsess over what you wore, ignoring the 49 compliments.
That's painfully relatable. It shows how much power we give that negative voice.
It really does. And it highlights why the sources stress the urgent need for fair procedures and group value everywhere. In families, teams, organizations.
Okay, fair procedures. What does that actually look like?
Well, a few key things. First, everyone needs to be heard. Genuinely heard.
Okay.
Second, everyone has the right to express opinions and feelings, even difficult ones, without fear of being punished for it.
And third,
everyone has the right to be who they are. Basic acceptance.
When you have that kind of environment, what changes?
Everything. Emotionally. You feel acceptance, belonging. You feel like you fit instead of feeling inadequate or rejected.
Which is often why people check out, right?
Right.
Leave jobs, drop out of school.
Exactly. That feeling of inadequacy is toxic. But fairness counters it.
And the outcomes are actually productive. It's not just about feeling good.
Oh, absolutely productive. Resentment gets replaced by proactivity, by joy, by actually wanting to contribute.
Like the co-writing example.
Yeah, the sources mention co-authoring books. When you create a space where every voice is valued, even in disagreement, you don't get stuck in conflict. You get, well, great reference works. Synergy happens.
And what about when authority gives recognition?
This is interesting. If recognition comes from, say, a boss, but it's paired with honest feedback, justified confrontation aimed at improvement, they call it people accept it.
They don't see the boss as a threat then?
No. They see the authority figure as a reference, a guide, someone legitimate. It changes the whole dynamic.
This focus on systems.
Yeah.
On fairness.
Yeah.
It leads naturally to the last big piece, doesn't it? Justice system.
Yep. Moving from the personal or group level to society. Starting with retributive justice.
The one we mostly know. Punishment.
Right. The system we're so accustomed to. Its main goal is punishing the offender. Why? Because they broke the rules. They deviated. They deserve it. Punishment often outweighs prevention or rehab.
But there's an alternative. Restorative justice?
A conceptual opposite, yeah. Instead of just punishing, it looks at the whole picture.
How so?
It considers the offender's background, their circumstances, why the infraction happened. Then it works with the victim or society to find ways to, well, treat the offender. Specific programs to help them rethink things.
And the goal isn't just punishment, it's...
reintegration. Helping the person become a responsible, contributing member of society again.
Okay, but the pushback is obvious. Why help them? They broke the law.
Of course. And the sources give two main answers. First, simply to be a more just society, to uphold dignity even when people fail.
And second?
Second is the idea of chain favors, which is pretty powerful.
Chain favors, what's that?
It's the pragmatic argument. People who have been through the system, former offenders, they often become incredibly effective at helping current offenders.
Because they've been there.
Exactly. The been there, done that factor. They have a credibility and insight that someone outside that experience just doesn't. They can reach people who shut out traditional authority.
That's leverage the old system just doesn't have.
Precisely.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it really covers a lot. from childhood feelings to workplace dynamics to how we structure justice itself.
And the connecting thread seems to be this: chasing external recognition, driven by that early comparison bug.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it doesn't really work. Not for us as individuals, not for society.
Mm-hmm.
The real growth, the sources argue, comes from implementing fairness and channeling that comparison energy differently into learning, into acceptance.
It really comes back to that idea of guilt, doesn't it? The birthday party. If just comparing ourselves can make us feel guilty for our own hard-won success.
Yeah. Then the final thought for you, listening, has to be, what parts of yourself, what skills, what contributions might you be holding back? Just because you're afraid of becoming a target, afraid of the resentment from that small group who can't handle seeing you succeed.
Something to really think about. How brightly are you willing to let yourself shine?